How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing great.
Dude, welcome to the first episode of Make Fear a Stranger podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
It's so crazy. We'll tell the audience a little bit about why we ended up doing this episode and why you're the first guest. Because I've been wanting to do this for a while, and you kind of like inspired it by having that phone call. But for those who don't know, Lee is the owner of 5 Watt, the founder and the owner. Before we get into why this podcast ended up happening, dude, I would love you to tell the audience the story of how you started 5 Watt.
Yeah. Well, it's a great question. How far back that story goes?
It's crazy.
I'm actually writing that whole story out right now.
Crazy.
So it's interesting that you asked to hear it.
Dude, there's always like rumors about like how you got like your first like one started and all that.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I don't think we've ever actually talked about it. We haven't been like super close the last 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to how close it is to like the rumors how 5 Watt started.
Yeah. So, before I moved up to the Twin Cities, I was living in Black River Falls, Wisconsin. And there is not a lot of good coffee in Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
No.
But I thought that I liked coffee, and I would tell everyone that I like coffee. And growing up, you had 3 places to drink coffee. The first place was the church.
Yep.
So I went to it was like a little, really small Baptist church. So they have like a Mr. Coffee thing on the hot pot that's been there since like 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
So by the time...
I grew up going to church.
Yeah, so like you get there as late as possible, which means the coffee is as hot as it can possibly be. It's just been sitting there for forever.
Just roasting.
So, I get a cup of that, this like thin little styrofoam cup. And the only thing that you could do to it to cool it down was add like powdered creamer. And then you just spend the whole sermon trying to, not burn your face and your hands. So that was place number 1.
That's like your first introduction to coffee.
Yeah, we had the church coffee.
Yeah.
Place number 2 was Perkins.
Okay.
Shout out to Perkins.
Yep.
Me and my friends would go, late at night because when we were kids, there was not a lot to do. You were limited on your computer time.
Yep.
Video games were few and far between. Back
in the day.
Yeah. So we'd go to Perkins, hang out, get coffee, and we would always drink out the first like 20% of the cup to make room for our secret recipe, which was like something like 7 creamers and 12 sugars.
Yeah.
Literally in this one little cup. And you'd know it's just right if it tasted like the third spot, which was Quick Trip coffee.
Yep.
Wait,
you had Quick Trip when you were a kid?
Yeah, there was a Quick Trip in town.
Okay, because you were in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And they were like early adopter. We didn't have Quick Trip until, I don't know when it actually came, but I know we didn't have it when we were kids here in Minnesota.
I was lucky, man.
You're just right across the border.
All the good things are in Wisconsin, turns out. The Quick Trip has the cappuccino machine, and I would like to make all my different little flavor combinations, like French vanilla, Irish cream, hazelnut, whatever. So around the time that I moved up to St. Paul, I had this idea in my head that I would become a barista. And again, I don't know why. I'd never really met a barista at any of my coffee spots in Wisconsin.
How old were you?
So I came up when I was 18.
Okay.
And I went to the McNally Smith College of Music.
Yep, I remember
which
that.
is where I met Matt Lenander.
Yeah.
That eventually introduced us. I came up to the McNally Smith. I started doing jobs as like a sub delivery driver. And this is also before maps were on your phone. And I didn't know the city at all. And just trying to figure out where to go, driving around, getting to know the city that way. And eventually I got a coffee job for this small independent spot that was near the U of M. That building is not there anymore. It got redeveloped for the light rail.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I took this job and I was like, I get to do coffee. Like I love coffee, right? Like I knew I always wanted to do coffee. And they brought in this guy that was like a world champion barista dude.
He went to Japan and did all the coffee tasting stuff.
Yeah. And at the time I was like, what is a champion barista? There's competitions for this. I had no idea. And he trained us, and I really just just attached myself to it. I thought it was so cool that you can make coffee taste good, that you can make it look really cool.
Yeah.
So from that point on, I was just working in coffee.
Hooked on coffee.
Hooked on coffee and playing in bands.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like the perfect combination because, coffee happens in the day.
Yeah.
And then at night,
Music happens at night.
Get in the car, drive
Yeah.
hours and hours, play your show, come back. You're tired the next day. That's fine.
Yep.
You got more coffee to drink.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I worked at different coffee shops. And one day, a good bud of mine, Matt, told me about a new coffee shop in Highland Park called Quixotic Coffee.
Yeah.
And, at this time, there wasn't a lot of specialty coffee shops in the Twin Cities.
Right.
There was just a few. There was Spy Houses around.
Yeah.
I think Dogwood had a little bit of a presence.
In like their south spot, was that their first location?
Yeah. The Dogwood?
Dogwood, yeah.
Yeah. Dogwood, they first opened in that little spot in what's now the 7 Points or the 7 Corners Mall in Uptown. They opened in a little spot over there.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So there just wasn't a ton of good coffee, and Matt mentioned this cool new coffee shop in Highland Park that had a roaster from Michigan called Madcap. And we were really excited to try it because we both loved coffee. And oddly, a lot of the coffee that you would get in the Twin Cities was like already locally roasted at that time.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, this is so cool. We get to try something new. So we go to Quixotic. I get a miel, just a latte with honey. And
Cinnamon?
Yeah, a little bit of cinnamon on the
Yeah.
top, which was my favorite drink at the time. It's perfect miel weather right now, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I should have made a meal.
Yeah.
I was nervous to make
Cup
you.
number
I was
two.
nervous to make you a coffee. I was like, "Dang it, it's freaking Lee."
I was wondering. I was wondering if you're going to be nervous about it, and I was going to say the best coffee is the coffee that you have in your hand.
Yeah,
it
it's
really
true.
is.
Well, I think I might have. So, I like just normal cappuccinos, but I put just a tiny bit of vanilla in just to like give it something. It doesn't taste like a vanilla latte, but it's just like a little something. But I think I put a little bit too much. At least I did in mine because it tastes a little bit sweet.
I like
apologize.
it. This is
Cool.
delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you for the coffee.
We're on camera. You have to say that.
Yeah. Well, I took a sip. You can zoom in on my face to see if I cringed.
See that first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting in Minneapolis. You go try Quixotic. A lot of the coffee
Quixotic.
shops around here are starting to roast their own beans and things
Yep.
like that.
It's still like early days of like good specialty coffee in the Twin Cities. And I take a first sip of that miel and I was like, wow, this is amazing. It was the second time I had like truly amazing coffee in the Twin Cities. The first time was
And that Quixotic's still there.
Yeah, Quixotic's
Which is cool.
still there. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
really cool.
Anytime I go back to that space, I just remember these early days of me going there all the time to drink coffee because I just loved it so much.
Yeah.
I got to know the guy that was the manager at Quixotic, and I just started like begging him for a job because I really wanted a job in coffee, doing something that was like good.
Yeah.
I was working at a chain at the time, and it wasn't that it was like bad coffee, but I could tell the tools were really limited.
Yeah.
We could only make the coffee so good, even if we
Right.
tried really hard.
And
So-
even like what, you're like 18, 19 at this point, and you actually like care about making good coffee. You're not just
Yeah.
going, it's busy and there's people here. It must be, you're going like, how can we make exceptional coffee?
Yeah. I just want to make something good. So I'm begging the manager for a job, and the coffee shop had just opened. They're not hiring. And he eventually left that and got a different opportunity to open a different coffee shop. And he's like, yeah, let's go out to brunch. I want to tell you about what I'm doing at this new coffee shop. You should come work for me. But at the time, I was working at this coffee shop at the Minneapolis Convention Center. And that coffee shop is owned by the catering company that has a contract for the whole convention center.
Right. Okay.
And what that meant for me was I was a part of a union that had good wages. It had paid scheduled breaks.
Yep.
I got to go downstairs and have a catered lunch
Hell yeah.
every day. And like
Nice.
all this stuff was like unheard of.
This is
for me,
great,
This
yeah.
is like the
You're
best
like,
thing.
yeah.
So I'm working at that job, and there's this like promotion that I'm knocking on the door of. and this guy's like, come work at my coffee shop. And I was like, I don't think I can. I'm about to make like $14 an hour, man.
Yeah, you're
there's
stoked.
There's food in the basement.
Yeah.
Like I got to stay at my job, but like I'll think about it, I guess. And then like a week or so later, he was like, come over to my house. I'm going to make us breakfast, make you some coffee. I want to tell you a little bit more about the coffee shop. So he makes me breakfast. It's like eggs, bacon, toast. And then he puts this coffee down that I saw he had brewed something on the Chemex, and it's got like cream in it, and it's sweet and delicious and unique. And he's like, all right, so that bacon that you're eating, I used that to create a maple bacon syrup to put in the coffee. I want to make, and I was like, well, I hadn't had anything like this before. And he's like, I want to make coffee drinks like this that are like really unique and intentional.
Craft.
Yeah, just craft coffee.
Yeah.
And so I quit my job. That was it. I was like, all right,
that was the quality. That was like the intentionality
ready.
in the coffee you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And at the time, on the theme of fear, I was thinking about like, what does it mean to give up this opportunity to make more money than I've ever made in my life, even though it wasn't like that much more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of security there. The promotion meant that I would have been on like some type of a salary, or I would have been guaranteed hours. There would have been benefits, all sorts of things that I just never had before.
Sounds pretty good at that age, especially. You're
amazing, right? And at the time, our band, we're playing a lot, we're touring, and we're not making money because that's how it goes for bands. Like bands don't make money, so you got to hope that your job is going well. So I'm like, I don't know,
that's a side note. Lee and I were in a band for like 6 years, probably like 6 years, touring the country, at times playing, almost 200 shows a year.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. So that's another part of Lee and I's history, is that we played music together, and that was a crazy time in life.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went our separate ways, but we both, at the end of the band, we both kind of like pursued business a little bit more. I think you still do music, but I was just kind of like, okay, I tried drums, I tried music for 8 years of my life. I think I'm good. Like I haven't seen my drum set since.
Really?
Yeah, and when we played the reunion show last year, I hadn't touched a drum set in 10 years.
No way.
Yeah, I had to like relearn. I got tennis elbow from that, man. I'm serious. I wasn't like used to playing like that. I got tennis elbow.
Yeah.
It makes me sound really old, but
Dude,
it's true. Okay, so at the time we were in a band touring. You're about to make money.
Yeah, so I'm weighing, do I want to go take this job that I'm actually excited about, that I know I really want to do, or do I stick with what's safe and make that money? I had never really had the opportunity to have a greater level of financial security. And I just decided, I'm like, you know what? I know how to be broke. I'm not afraid of that. I've done that my whole life. I want to do something that I'm excited about. I want to do something that I love, that I'm passionate about. So, I became the first barista employee at this coffee shop, and
What was it called?
It was called Bull Run Coffee.
Bull Run, yeah.
Bull Run Coffee, and the manager Gordon and we developed a small menu of unique specialty drinks. The breakfast latte that he had iterated on at his home was one of them. And I think we had something like 5 drinks on the menu between the two of us, and there was a little bit of input from some of the other folks on staff, but I really connected with making drinks, and it was just so much fun to me. I have no culinary background, no beverage experience. Where I come from, there's not good coffee, but something about it just really clicked with me.
It's like those people that can just sit down and play piano without knowing anything. It's like they just sit down and something clicks, or guitar, or anything,
Yeah.
It's like it just makes sense. It's cool.
Man, you know what? Those early days, I realized something about my time being in the band with you guys that like really helped me along my whole path and my whole career.
I always say something too that helped me. I'm curious what yours is.
So the thing that helped me being in the band with you guys was one, we worked hard.
Yeah.
But two, we weren't afraid to be positively critical.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk that we'd have about cleaning something up, getting it tighter, changing the song in this way or doing that or whatever. And nothing about it ever felt like it was coming from a place of, like judgment or like shame or whatever. It was just all about,
can we be better?
Just making something better. Yeah.
That's cool.
And
I didn't think about that. I always say what it taught me is how to sell something people aren't buying, which is music, and how to be annoyingly persistent. Those two things. I go, that's how the band helped me in business. Sell something people aren't buying, annoyingly persistent. So those are the two things I always think about when I go, why did I spend, almost a decade of my life doing something that really I'm not doing now, but it's like, it doesn't matter. It was a season of life that was beautiful and has its own, history and stories. And so it doesn't matter if I'm not doing anything with music now. It matters that I did it then and I took a chance,
Yeah.
So
I think we learned a lot about how to do business in really unique, different ways being in a band.
Yeah.
We needed to figure out how to make this thing work. How can we make it so that we can continue to do this long term? And it also caused us to start thinking about different things that might not have been our original interest, like becoming a merch company. Like we were definitely like a t-shirt band, figuring out how to source t-shirts and like come up with cool different designs and how to figure out our cost and our size breakdowns, all that those
Do you
little
remember
things.
how anal we were, or at least John and I for sure were about gas?
Oh yeah.
Like we bought like 4 different trailers trying to find the perfect trailer that was like low enough to be behind the van but had enough space to hold everything, had to be a Vino's, like had to be a drop axle, like all of it, And it's true. It's like we were literally learning. I remember shows where we'd driving across the country for a $200 show. We're like, okay, well, either we need to book shows along the way, or we need to make a plan to sell a crap ton of merch, or we got to do whatever. Like it was training for and it was running a business. It was crazy.
It absolutely was. And I don't think we realized it at the time. We were trying to take it serious.
Yeah.
We wanted it to work and we wanted it to go somewhere, but some of those lessons that we learned along the way were they're just kind of happening. We probably didn't realize it at the time.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're working at Bull Run. How long were you there?
So I was there for probably in total about a year and a half. So Bull Run gets open and it's awesome. It's really exciting. We're doing great coffee. It's really fun. And then the manager, Gordon, got a job opportunity in LA.
Okay.
So he takes it. He moves out to LA, and everybody on the staff quit except for one person. There was like a new gal.
He was
on
like
the
a
team.
staple.
Yeah, he was the guy. Everything was kind of, in a way, it was all centered around him. It was his vision for the menu, and he put the team together. And he was also, he is such a great leader and a great person to connect with. So I think a lot of people felt really, really close to him. And as you know, like change is scary, and we don't know what it means when things are about to change. And there was this idea that whatever we had was going to go away, and it was just never going to be the same. But I thought about it, and I was like, I like this job. I like this a lot. I like this coffee shop. I want to keep working here. I hope that it goes well.
Yeah.
So I stuck around and I met the new manager. It was this big teddy bear dude named Caleb, who, spoiler alert, became my business partner not that long afterwards.
Yeah.
So I meet Caleb, and he started hanging out at the shop like basically 24/7, getting to know it. And I'm there working full time. And at that point in my life, in my coffee career, I knew that coffee was something that was really important to me, and it was something that I wanted to keep doing. But I'd been in coffee jobs at that point for some handful of years, and I had this thought that I would never manage a coffee shop because I'd seen my managers, and they're all great people, but they didn't really like their job. They were stressed out, stuff's not working very well or whatever. And I would definitely never own a coffee shop because that's probably twice as bad as whatever I think managing.
And you were more just going like, I'm here for the coffee.
Yeah, I just want to make coffee. That's it.
Yeah, no one's becoming a gazillionaire owning a coffee shop or in being a manager is stressful. No one you generally just want to
Yeah.
care about the coffee.
I want the good parts of the job, and that's it.
Yeah.
When Caleb came to Bull Run to become the manager, I started really paying attention to how he was managing the coffee shop and how he was setting it up, and it seemed kind of effortless for him. And I realized, I was like, oh, some jobs are only as hard as you make them. If you plan ahead, if you're organized, things will go a lot better. And all of a sudden, I wasn't so afraid of managing. So when Caleb came along, after I think maybe a week or so, I went out to grab some food with him, and I was like, all right, man, here's the deal. I'm going to do, I think, scheduling and maybe one or two other things, the menu. You're going to give me a raise, and we're gonna get this coffee shop back together, man. Like, let's do this. So we immediately started like a really close, professional relationship, and we also bonded over certain similarities in our life. It turned out that we went to the same music school for the same thing 10 years apart.
Crazy.
And I was in the middle of living a life that was familiar to him. I was staying in a house out in Whittier, living in a sunroom, that wasn't a real bedroom, to make the rent cheap, like literally sleeping on the floor, a little mattress pad, surrounded by my bass guitars and my amps and all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, I did that too, man.
Dude, so crazy. Some of my most joyful seasons of life were in those kind of seasons.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're literally just chasing something that like there's something there, you don't know exactly how it's going to end up or where it's going to end up, but like it's just a complete move of passion. And like I think on that journey, I think most people are like chasing wealth or whatever, and that's all great. I'm totally support that, but I think like what we forget is like the passion is what makes it good. Like that's what makes it rich. That's what makes everything in life rich, is like genuinely just pouring everything you have into something you believe in.
Absolutely,
so
man.
Those like just sleeping in a shop, like the old Ivy studio where I started Ivy is that building right there.
Yeah.
So I look out at it every day, and I lived in that studio for 3.5 years. Didn't have a shower, didn't have a kitchen, didn't have a bathroom.
Wow.
And I just like showered at friends' houses, and I was just chasing something, It was awesome. I loved it.
You wanted to do it, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like 10 years behind Caleb.
Yeah, and so we're doing work at the coffee shop, and it's continuing to go well. We're getting along really well together, and all the while we're starting to talk about what it might look like if that coffee shop maybe had a second location. We knew that the ownership team, Caleb knew the owner team better than I did. That's how he ended up getting the job, but he knew that they were interested in maybe expanding, having a second location, and we were talking about like, how might that look, or maybe we can split up managing duties. We could do this with the coffee shop. We could, bring in this idea, whatever. And we were noticing that a lot of the ideas that we were bringing to the table, the ownership group just didn't really connect with. But they had their own ideas, and we didn't really connect with those.
Yeah.
It was feeling a little
like
frustrating.
Misalignment.
A little bit of misalignment for sure. And one night I had this crazy idea where, Caleb and I should open up our own coffee shop. Which
not so crazy after all.
Yeah. At the time, it was a brand new idea.
It's like insane,
Yeah, it was like some wild epiphany. Well, we should open up our own coffee shop. And I went into work the next day, and I was like, hey, man, we should open a coffee shop. And the way I like to describe it is he looked at me like I'd been spending the whole time I knew him coming into work without a shirt on. And I come in one day without a shirt on. I'm like, I think I'm going to start wearing shirts to work.
Yeah, it was like I've never known that to be the case before.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this. And he's looked at me like, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad that you're figuring it out. He was already, philosophically way down the path of wanting to own his own coffee shop. He busted out all these binders with coffee shop plans. And
let's go.
Different things. And
so he was ready.
He was ready, yeah. And we didn't know how we were going to do it. We talked about possibly doing like a a coffee truck, and building up to the point where we could maybe open up our own brick and mortar. But there was a regular that would come to Bull Run who, rumor had it that he had money. And there was also a little bit in the rumor mill that he was possibly going to help invest in a coffee shop for that manager that moved to LA. And I was like,
interesting.
All right, if that guy wants to invest with the dude that left, like maybe he's still looking to invest in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
I think he likes me and Caleb a lot. He comes in all the time. I guess I'll ask. So I take that dude out to breakfast. We went to the Lowry in Minneapolis.
Heck yeah.
Great place. And I kind of told the short story of the vision. Me and Caleb want to open a coffee shop. It's going to be like the one that we're in now, but it will be ours. Do you want to invest in that? He was like, yeah. And I was like,
crazy.
I was like, what?
Dude, and you didn't have no business experience or even what told you in your brain that you should go ask that guy for money to invest in this idea that you had?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I have definitely
blissfully,
lived
it's like the thing blissfully naive. It's almost it's like that is a beautiful thing sometimes.
It's
keeps you.
I have like a risk averse nature to me. But also I had no idea what I was thinking about. Really. I didn't know what I was getting into.
I always say if you knew what you were getting into, you never got into it. So that's in some way good.
I definitely didn't know what I was asking for when I went out and sought some fundraising for the coffee shop. We didn't even know what we were going to call it. We just knew we wanted to go and do this. So he said yes, and I was like, oh gosh.
Without a business plan?
Yeah.
You didn't show him anything?
No, I was like, well, we had some stuff. We're like, I think it's going to cost us maybe this much, and we want to do this, we want to do that, but we didn't have a deck ready. There wasn't a presentation. It was just me sharing this idea.
Crazy.
And then this guy that believed in me and Caleb.
Yeah. So cool.
We got, I'd say, really lucky. And then we just started looking for coffee shop spots. And we were kind of looking all over town. And we eventually found what became our first coffee shop location in the Kingfield neighborhood. I remember at the time, the city was doing this really invasive road construction on Nicollet to the point where you couldn't drive on it. They were doing something with the underground infrastructure. I'm not sure what.
Okay.
But we would.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I didn't really go to that part of town very much, but Bull Run was a mile. And some change
just
away.
over on Lindale.
And we would, meet up after work, grab some coffee and then drive out to whatever spot we found on Craigslist or whatever. And I would be driving over 38th and Nicollet a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And, never driving on Nicollet because it was closed for construction. But there was
crossing.
Just crossing it. There's a for lease sign in this window on the corner building. I mentioned that to Caleb. I'm like, let's check it out. So we go in, we meet this guy, Alex. He shows us around. And the space is huge. It's where Nighthawks Diner is.
Yeah, I was gonna say the corner spot is Night.
Yeah. Nighthawks, and then there's been a handful of different businesses right next to it, but the space is connected to Nighthawks. And the landlord guy was like, we want to rent out this whole space, and me and Caleb are like, well, we want just the corner. And he's like,
just give us a little.
We just want the corner. And he's like, well, that won't work here, but we do have another spot, just a couple of doors down. Do you want to look at that? And we're like, okay. So we go there, and there's a temporary mailing operation set up. There's people stuffing envelopes, big long tables set up. There's grandma's linoleum floor down, drop tile ceiling, and Easter egg pink walls.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's looking kind of weird in there.
Yeah.
And I remember the air conditioning was working really well, and I was like, okay, that's good. The last spot struggled with air conditioning. This one's nice and cold. And we
starting to see the vision.
Yeah, I'm like, there's something here. It's a cool little spot, big windows up front. we checked out the basement and it wasn't scary. You know, there's like some basements in Minneapolis, like
Yeah, you're not trying to.
the stairs are like a cliff, you know,
No,
and then you're
yeah.
in like a little dungeon with like spider webs everywhere. And yeah, the next day at work, I come into work, he's already there, and we're obviously both trying to hide the excitement that we have, knowing that like we think that's the spot.
That could be it.
That could be it. So we signed the lease and we got it open. It took longer than we thought it would.
Usually does.
We're like, it's
Yeah.
going to be like a month, you know,
Yeah.
like we'll get this open
Yeah.
in like a month, which is crazy. I think we signed our lease in September of 2013, and then we opened May 2nd, 2014.
2013. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing you at like church while you had just like it was before you'd open it, but you were working on it.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if you ever need anything, let me know. And you're like, dude, I'm just trying to like get this thing built. Like you were.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you were like building on this thing, and then after you build it and launch it, you have to like run it.
Yeah.
Which you were probably just now processing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I really had no idea what I was getting into. So we finally get the spot open, and day one, I think we were open by 7 a.m. and I got there at like 6:20. You only really need like 30 minutes to open a coffee shop. Caleb is already there. He's already got like the coffee brewed. He's got like his apron on, ready to roll. So we get in, we get everything up and ready to go, and we're like, all right, what do you think is going to happen? Are we going to be busy? Are we going to be slow? I announced it on my Facebook the night before at like 5:30 p.m.
So you're opening?
Yeah, it had been like 12 hours at that point.
Yeah, but you've been
since-
kind of
since we
showing,
announced.
telling the story that you're going to be opening, right?
Yeah.
So like people are aware you're opening a coffee shop.
Yeah. There is awareness, more awareness than I thought, because we made a couple of guesses on how busy it might be, and we were both very wrong. We guessed really low to how busy it ended up being. But yeah, we unlocked the doors for our first customers, who were actually Matt and his wife Missy. And Matt was the guy that took me to Quixotic, that eventually got me to this place of opening 5 Watt.
Dude.
He got the first drink. It was
That's
a
awesome.
cappuccino.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, 5 Watt is open, and it's 2014 at this time.
Yeah.
And we're really busy. It's crazy. You know, I'm exhausted. I remember I took my first break on day like 6 to go to Quang and get pho for lunch, and I just like, it's like I had like the circles in the eyes, like sort of thing. I'm just like totally out of it, trying to hang it together. But yeah, it was a super fun time, super chaotic. And from there, things just like kept going, kind of going crazy.
And then, I mean, I don't know which location is it, but one of your locations is in the original Bull Run spot now.
Yeah.
Fourth? Is that like the fourth
That was
location?
number 4.
Yeah. And then, so over the past 12 years, you've literally just been building the brand. Like you've opened up 6 locations?
So we opened 4 like brick and mortar coffee shops. We have the one on Nicollet. Then we opened the one in Northeast, just over the way. Then we opened in the Keg and Case Market in St. Paul.
Yeah, Keg and Case was sick. I'm so sad that place is gone.
Yeah, it was a bummer. Really cool vision, great people, and just some stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, crazy.
So we were there, and then the 4th location is in the old Bull Run spot. I remember it was like around Christmas, and I was hanging out with, there's this girl I was dating at the time. We were with her family for like a pre-Christmas hangout dinner, and Caleb called me, and I was like, I think I need to take this. Hold on. So I like ran outside, and he's like, hey, the landlord at Lindale just gave me a call, and she thinks that maybe the coffee shop Bull Run is going out of business and wants to know if we would put a 5 Watt there. What do you think? And at that time, we had just opened Keg and Case and East Hennepin. Like it just kind of happened really fast. But I was like, dude, we have to do it, man. Like we got to get
such a cool opportunity.
Yeah, it was really exciting. And our first day, I kind of shoehorned it to be on my birthday. And that was like, 6 or 7 years ago. We got open on my birthday, and yeah, so those are the 4 5 watts. We did an experimental 5 watt at one of our. So rewind a little bit. Year 1 at 5 watt, we decided to launch a sister company called Big Watt, which would put coffee into at the time we thought maybe bottles. It ended up morphing into something even bigger and far more different than we ever thought it would be. So it's just it's large scale liquid production, brewing, and packaging into a can format.
In a can. Distribution all over the country.
So we opened that first location in Uptown, and some handful of years ago we opened a second location out in New Richmond, Wisconsin, kind of middle of nowhere. And there they had a tap room. It was a defunct brewery building, so it was built out for everything. The facilities there in the back, and there's this tap room up front.
The one in here isn't it just a facility where you're canning? Yeah, okay. I didn't know the one in New Richmond had an actual place you could go, like a little tap room you can go.
Now it's there's Lift Bridge. So they brew out of we got like a brew house.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is. What's that? The brewery, like right across the parking lot from that.
So
Parallel 45. It's like a distillery.
Distillery,
Yeah, I actually just did some collaboration with them with one of the brands I'm working with.
Oh, awesome.
So I went over there and met them and tried some of the drinks, and it was cool.
Yeah, it's great, and they have really good pizza too.
Yeah, they have insane.
Super awesome.
We had some pizza.
So we tried a concept there that was no espresso machine. I had it based around just cold pressed drinks and like drip coffee.
Cool.
And it was a really fun experiment, but there was definitely not the traffic to support doing a coffee shop there, so we shut that one down. So that was number 5, and then number 6 was 94 Bubbles. So about a year and a half ago, all of the partners in 5 Watt took a voluntary exit. They was kind of ready to go.
That was only a year and a half ago?
It was like a year. Wow. Maybe a little more, but about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
That was when we closed the deal.
Yeah.
So all of the folks that had come along through the journey of growing the 5 Watt stores and growing Big Watt.
Caleb too.
Yep, Caleb and everyone was just kind of ready to move on.
Trying something else.
Yeah, just focus on whatever they want to do next. And we took them through a voluntary exit, and as a function of getting that done, I had to find another strategic partner, like pretty much someone to help the financial side of the deal. So I called up this dude who I got to know through. He had been interested in buying 5 Watt about a year or two prior, so I knew him from that. Those conversations didn't go anywhere at the time, but I was like, hey, if someone can help me buy out my partners, it might be this guy.
Yeah, be sick.
Yeah, so I called him up, and he was like, yep, let's do it. And he owned this brand called Sencha Tea Bar. It used to be the Tea Garden. Yep. So the plan was, all right, we'll buy out the partners, and then we'll merge the companies, and you're going to be the CEO. We're going to go from there. We're going to grow this thing. So we got that done, and that happened in like the spring. By the fall, I had created a concept for this brand, 94 Bubbles, that was like a bubble tea thing through the lens of 5 Watt. If 5 Watt were to do bubble tea, it's going to be like this.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Did it happen?
It did, yeah. It was very short-lived.
Okay.
Pretty much from the moment that we opened, my new partner he didn't like that it wasn't as busy as we hoped it would be, and immediately he was like, "You need to close it." And I was like, "Man, we just opened. Like, let's try to run this a little bit."
Yeah.
So we inevitably closed it, which was weird because with 5 Watt, day one, me and Caleb wondering if we're even going to be busy, and we're extremely busy. It just happened, right?
Yeah.
And with 94 Bubbles, it wasn't like that. It wasn't just like immediate success, like immediate home run. So that was like a really just interesting,
it's heartbreaking,
a little bit of heartbreak, and there it was like a brand that I built that I loved, that I felt was like some of the best work that I had done to date, you know, even better than 5 Watt in ways. And it failed, you know, and it just didn't work.
Dude, brutal.
Yeah, had to close it. And then not that long after that, I'm out of the company.
Out of the overarching company that owned 5 Watt and Sencha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's, I guess, what leads to us having this podcast is I saw your announcement that you kind of got forcefully removed, or I don't know how you want to say it, but from your company, and we're starting this new brand. And I reached out to you because I've launched and built a number of businesses over the last 10 years, and partnerships can be really hard.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially putting trust in someone that you are hoping is kind of seeing the same vision you are, but that can shift and change, and people, and then in business, there's money involved. That's always, a painful point. And so I reached out to Lee to ask how I could help. And he just goes, dude, I love that brand. You got Make Fear a Stranger. I'm like, what does that have to do with it? But we just kind of got talking. We're like, let's film an episode. So that's how we're filming this episode. But man, I just when I saw your post, I was just so heartbroken, because I know the feeling of kind of just being hurt by someone that you invited into your vision.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's so painful. So that happened just last year, August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now you're starting a new brand called Take Care. And first of all, to go along with the theme of Make Fear a Stranger, it's man, when I get hurt like that, I need a year or two just to heal, just to be frick, that sucked. I didn't just lose a business, I lost a relationship that I really care about. And there's so much history there, and there's so many hopes that I'm now. It's when how people talk about divorce. It's you're just kind of letting go on all these ideas that you had.
Yeah.
It's same in a business, What in your history, or maybe it's a parent or something gave you the resilience to just go I would just kind of stare fear in the face and just go, I'm going to move forward, because I know that's going to lead to where I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. And like I was saying before we started filming, I've been thinking about it a lot. Where does this come from?
Yeah.
Where is this this kind of thing of being risk adverse and maybe naive and whatever? What is that? Where does it come from? And I think that it probably goes way back to when I was just a young kid. I was 12 when I experienced some really intense trauma in my life, surrounding death in the family, which, is something that is an inevitable part of everybody's life to experience, but it happened really young.
Yeah.
And there was this feeling that nothing could be as bad as that, bad things are going to happen, but nothing is as bad as that. And I think that is part of what caused me to be just really risk averse.
Yeah.
And the other part is, being out on my own as a, young, 18-year-old person. One day you got a support system, family, whatever, and the next day
you dove right in.
Yeah, you're just out there,
Yeah.
So, I'm 18. I'm living a couple hours away from home, and I'm going to the college, the music school. And after 1 year, I couldn't afford to go back, because it was a private school, and my family didn't have any money. So now I'm just alone, no school, no plan, but I got this band.
So sick band.
I'm all right, I'm
going
doing
on the
that,
road.
I'm doing that now. And then my time with the band ends, so now I'm being a barista. All right, I'm going to do that now. All of a sudden, I'm owning a coffee shop. All right, I'm doing that. And it's just been this kind of snowball thing of just going from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
And that has felt very familiar and natural to me.
Yeah.
That things change, and and you just kind of keep moving. Just kind of going on to the next.
I think having a high tolerance for risk is one thing. Having the ability to kind of, because the whole idea of Make Fear a Stranger is moving past fear so you can pursue purpose, fulfillment, and love. And in our modern day, we don't face a lot of dangers or fear from enemy
Right.
enemy tribes or like, wild animals. It's like all psychological. It's like when you're about to tell someone you love them for the first time, when you're about to open a new business, when you're about to give a public speech. And so being, very able to have high risk tolerance is one thing, but being resilient in a way where you can go like, and dude, what it's interesting, what you said about 94 Bubbles being like the best work you ever did. When I got out of my first brand that I ever built, I felt like the reason I left Ivy is a number of things that happened, but one of the big things that I recognized was it was almost like I hadn't graduated my mindset.
Yeah.
I'd been building brands now for 10 years, but within Ivy, I still operated a certain way because I don't know what that is. And so I just went like, I feel like the way I run Ivy is not the way I would run a different brand. I'm somehow stuck in like 13 when I built or 14 when I started the brand.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, 94, it's like 5 is insane. It's incredible. I'm not saying it's shit or whatever, but you said 94 Bubbles came, you're like, yeah, I was the most proud I ever was. And then the new brand, Take Care. It's like, dude, I can like, when I saw the name and when I talked to you, I could like feel like what that place is going to be. And I think it's partially I know you. And, maybe 5 Watt had some of this like disappointment around how things went or business partners, or especially the way it ended sounds shitty.
Yeah.
But you're going, despite that, I still have something that I want to like invite the world into.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so inspiring.
Let's talk about, so in August, like this happens.
Yeah.
It was really the end of July. But in August this happens, and right now I'm living close to the chain of lakes in Uptown.
Okay.
Right on the Greenway.
Cool.
And I've been loving walking more and more over the past handful of years, and all of a sudden I have like all the time in the world to walk.
Was it that immediate? It was like, you're out?
Yeah.
And it just...
Man, actually, you know what? Let me tell you the story. So, there's lots of, drama behind the scenes leading up to this moment, but I'm out with my band. We're playing this show somewhere in Minnesota, and I had set up a time to get on the phone with my business partner. He wanted to talk to me, and I told him that I could talk at 6 p.m. and we have to go on stage and play like right after that. So he calls me to fire me, and then I have to get off the phone, pick up my bass, and go on stage in front of like 2,000 people and just be like,
dude,
this is what I'm doing now.
Brutal.
And it was really weird.
That's so painful.
But also it was good. It was nice because I was like, well, if I could be doing anything right now, finding out this news, I think I'd want to be with my friends. Doing something I love.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Like you're at home alone.
Yeah.
You get the call. You like get fired. Check the fridge. It's empty. Or like, you know what I mean? Like you could paint a picture where there could be worse places to be.
There could be worse places to be for sure.
Versus like at a show with your best friends. Yeah.
So it was a good moment, but then, then after that, now I'm home and all I got is nothing but time on my hands. So I'm like walking around.
So you're walking a bunch.
The lakes, just thinking about everything. Thinking about how upset I am, thinking about the disappointment that I have. Yeah. And it took me about a month of doing that for me to realize that, the only person that could pull me out of that was myself. Mm-hmm. So then in September, you can actually, I look at my daily steps. You can see like the difference between
just spikes.
In August and September. And in September,
it's a great time to walk.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. The fall is like, it's the best.
And then the sunsets aren't so late as in the summer where you're like, it's a great time to be walking. It's warm still. It's insane.
It's great. So I just spent that time trying to reorient my mindset and to get myself back in touch with who I am. Yeah. There can be this, when something doesn't work the way that you want it to, there is definitely like some grief, like a sense
Yeah.
of loss. I lost.
And this was
thing.
paired like with an injustice.
Yeah.
Which I don't know for you, but for me, like the injustice, I mean, I think I'm sensitive to that in anyone I see. I think that's why I called you. I'm like, wait, I knew how hard you took to build that. We haven't talked in a while, but I'm calling you right now, and I just went like, what the heck? Like the injustice is what, I'm sure you're feeling way more emotions than that.
Yeah.
But like the injustice part of it is just like, how could someone do that? That was like, and how would they even expect that thing is going to work? You are the brand.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you are it. So good luck, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time thinking about like the injustice part, and all the stress and the anger that came with it. There's a lot of things to get caught up in when you do that.
Yeah.
And when I really think about what it's like to be like stuck in that place, it kind of feels like seeing the drunk person at a bar who gets like their shoulder rubbed the wrong way. They're walking by and someone accidentally like runs into them, and then they just don't let it go the whole night.
Yeah.
They're just thinking about the past. Like that happened.
I can't believe that guy bumped me.
Yeah, he bumped me. And he bumped me, and it means this.
Yeah.
And he's that guy.
Yeah.
And all this other stuff. I'm definitely the kind of person that I think a lot about what it means. What a lot of things mean. What does it mean?
Like deep thinker.
Yeah, like this person said that, or this happened. What does this mean?
Dude.
What is this? And after spending a lot of time walking around thinking about that, I realized that what matters isn't what happened. Mm-hmm. What matters is what we do.
Yeah.
It's what we do next. It's where we go. And I realized that, this guy that kind of like inflicted this injustice on me didn't take anything from me.
Yeah.
The person that, helped create and build 5 Watt is still here. He didn't take that from me. He just took what I did. He's not going to take anything from me that allows me to move forward.
Yeah.
I have that,
Yes.
That's right here. That's where my power is. And once I put myself in that mindset starting in September, it really helped me just kind of pull myself out of the mud that slows us down.
Dude, cool.
Yeah.
Way to go, because it takes me much longer than 2 months, and you were already kind of like internalizing this thing and going like, actually, he didn't take anything from me. I'm still me. Like the energy and the vision and the like hard work that you got, work ethic you got from Highland or whatever, like that's all still me.
Yeah.
And so it's really just going, he took away the result of what I can create. He took away 5 Watt.
Yep.
But he didn't take anything from me, and I can actually like take that now, and with the experience of the last 12 years, like build something that's maybe even more so aligned to who I am.
Yeah. Absolutely. And also to be clear, even though I've found a way to help change and reorient my mindset, it still is like extremely difficult all the time. It's hard on a day-to-day basis. It's hard when things don't work the way we want them to work. And I've been thinking a lot about fear since our phone call. And by the way, you were the first person to call me when I put that up. You were the first phone call that I got. Dude. So thank you for calling me.
Yeah, man.
But I was thinking a lot about fear, and I think we put a lot of our fear on this idea of what these outcomes could be. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid what it means if I lose my job, if I'm like not the CEO anymore. Like I'm afraid of that. Or I'm afraid of what it means if my new coffee shop doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And I used to think that fear was, me being afraid of what other people think. But really, I think I'm afraid of what I think. Yeah. Because I find a lot of strength in extending myself kindness and compassion, and telling myself things that I believe are true, even if they don't feel true.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey man, if there's anyone to build a new coffee shop, it's you. You got this, dude. And then fear comes in and is like, what if no one cares?
It makes you question what you're saying to what you're trying to speak in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes you question that. Yeah. And the thing that I've been trying to take with me to a daily practice is being less focused on outcomes and more focused on whatever my actions are. At the end of the day, we get to decide how we want to show up in the world, who we want to be, and we get to do that.
Yeah.
And the little thing that I've been doing is I've been trying to just reframe my days into like a kind of just a list of actions that I am doing.
Yeah.
So today, I already went to the gym, but today I am going to the gym and finishing my week out. I'm going to do some cardio because it's too cold outside. And then I am going to go hang out with Steve and we're going to record a podcast.
Yeah.
And something about just changing the way that I'm talking about what I'm doing helps me feel a lot better. There's a lot of things, again, they just don't go as planned. The coffee shop is taking longer than I wanted it to take.
Yeah.
But I am working on
it's like, what are the things you can control?
Yeah.
It's like, and that's a lot of what like manifestation and all these things talk about is it's this idea that the whole idea is to let go of the outcome completely.
Yeah.
You have a vision in mind and you try to get yourself into a state where you can emotionally feel what would it feel like to live that experience. But that where you have to completely let go of is the outcome. Because if you're trying to control that, it will never work. It will never come. And so, but the thing you have to do is take action.
Right.
And I think in taking action is what like makes you even have the emotion of feeling that you deserve that thing. Because you go, not that every action you get a certain reaction. And it's not like it's a perfect 1-for-1 match. If you put this much energy into it, you're gonna get this. But I think even just humans, and I don't know you, but like I want to build things. I want to build things that I care about and things that are meaningful. And, I can live with myself if it doesn't turn out exactly how I want. But I want to make sure that I can't live with myself if I'm not like taking those action steps that I know are within my control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we can do. We can't change the past.
Yeah.
We can't control the future. But we get the great privilege of being who we want to be in our life today, right now.
Amor fati, it's like the love of fate. It's like this idea that if it happened, it was meant to happen. And if it was meant to happen, then you should love it. So you should love fate. Like fate should be loved. And I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I've been through the most awful thing in my life. There's many people who are through worse things, but I think it's all relative. When you go through any experience, no matter what, it can be extremely painful. And so I've been through some of those moments, and that phrase, amor fati, just pisses me off. But after it pisses me off, it kind of helps me get to where I go like, when I can start to like look at that amor fati and not be pissed off, I know I'm starting to get past, some of that pain.
Yeah.
And I'm like moving to the other side of it. And a lot of times it's just the fear of failure should not outweigh the desire to want to still create.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're doing with this next coffee shop is you're going, this didn't turn out exactly how I wanted, but that shouldn't change like how I see myself going forward, or that shouldn't change how I speak to myself.
Yeah.
Like you could go like, 5 what didn't work and this all happens. Like, well, worked pretty damn well for like 12 years.
Yeah.
That was a pretty incredible season of your life that you, and all of that you can link back to actions you took to make it happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so you just go, well, I just do that again here.
Yeah, and success it's also really subjective. It can mean a lot of different things. Yeah. It can really mean whatever you want it to mean.
Yeah.
If you're just there for the journey, loving the outcome regardless of what happens, then you're onto something.
Yeah. Do you ever sit down and like define what success or what failure would look like?
Not really, man.
Not as much,
Yeah, not as much. I just think about what I'm doing and just go.
Yeah.
Though I do think it would be a good practice to do that.
Yeah, I find that like if I don't define it, then I just go with whatever I feel emotionally.
Yeah.
So I remember the day I launched IvyLifestyle.net, which is like the first iteration of Ivy Longboards. And within that first week, I think we sold like, it was a ton, like $15,000 of boards and t-shirts and stuff.
Wow.
And I remember going over to my parents' house and like crying to my parents that I had like failed because I'd created this thing in my mind where I thought this X would happen and it didn't. So I hadn't yet defined what success or failure looked like. So I just felt whatever emotion came,
Yep.
which was like, oh, I had this idea it was going to be this and it was this. So therefore I failed. And I felt like a big, and now I look back and I go, geez, I wish I could, launch a brand and sell that much. I think it was like almost 20K worth of gear in the first week.
That's
and so,
incredible.
Yeah, I think it's a good practice is like stopping to go like, what would failure look like? Oh, that's actually like pretty far down there. Like that's likely not even going to happen.
Yeah.
And what is success? And then like anything within there is just like, that's where you get to operate.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
without defined ideas of what success or failure looks like, often that definition is going to be ruled by fear.
Yeah.
Like it's
100%.
It's not successful unless, we actually do this, or
Yeah.
unless this happens,
Yeah.
or it is a failure if we don't do whatever. But for me, I think success is knowing that you did something that you're proud of, knowing that you did what you wanted to do and you did it in a way that you're happy with.
Heck yeah.
And if we start thinking about life through that lens, we'll realize that success is around us all the time.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of self-compassion to be able to talk to ourselves that way. We have no problem talking to a friend in a way that celebrates the successes
That's
that
so
they
weird.
have. Isn't that? Yeah. But that's kind of like a fear thing too. Like this, I was talking with a friend about imposter syndrome just earlier today.
I'm very well familiar with imposter syndrome, not your friend.
Yeah. Like, with imposter syndrome, it's like we say things to ourselves that we would never, ever say to somebody that we love.
Not a chance.
Yeah. But
I mean, I think like, we know ourselves, we know all the mistakes we've made, we know all the things, but I know my best friend pretty damn well. Like I know the mistakes he's made and the failures he's had. So like that's an excuse I use is like, well, we talk to ourselves, it's harder to talk to ourselves, whatever, because we know all our mistakes. But it's like, no, that's not it. Like I know one of my my best friend, I know all his mistakes. I wouldn't talk to him like that.
Yeah.
So it's just, and some of that language, even like speaking kind or stuff like that feels soft, but it's not, because like essentially we are going to attract anything that we feel we don't deserve. That's pretty hard to attract.
Yeah.
That's pretty, and you can get it, but it's like you're clawing and fighting for it. But when you emotionally feel that you deserve something and you're worthy of something, it comes to you much easier.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what that is. I'm still trying to get past that, where it's like, how do I speak to myself? Because when it doesn't feel true, it's so hard to say.
Yeah. What if I'm lying to myself? What if I'm delusional?
Yeah.
And that's just more fear. A lot of that question of what if.
Yeah.
And again, it's just this place of self-compassion that can allow you to say the things that you need to hear, to offer yourself the support that you need to have. Did
you grow up thinking like that? Or is that like a newer discovery?
My mom, at a young age, taught me about having a positive mental attitude.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I love your mom.
Yeah. Isn't she great?
She's awesome.
Pat.
Yeah, Pat. Anytime we were going anywhere near Black River Falls, we would pull over the van, go over to Lee's house, and she would just feed us until we couldn't eat anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh man, she's great. And she taught me about a positive mental attitude. And it really made sense to me at the time. And possibly it just came at the right point in my life, because, when you're a young person, all you're doing is trying to figure out what stuff means, what is right and wrong, and what, works and what doesn't work, what you should think, what you should not think. And having this orientation of positivity was very helpful for me.
Yeah.
And then, right around that time, my life started getting crazy, and all of a sudden, I had this tool that I could just walk with me, this idea to be positive in the way that I thought of myself and thought of the world.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. So when you came to this point where you go, okay, I'm going to be not, moving forward with 5 anymore, was there ever a thought to like go do bubble tea or like, or something like outside of beverage, like go work on the oil fields in North Dakota?
Yeah.
I just want to like, or was it immediately like, no, I'm going to like coffee is still the dream?
Yeah, it was kind of like this unending conviction that coffee and Take Care was where I was going.
Yeah.
And for me, I definitely live my life in a way where when I believe something, it's real.
It's like, there's not really a question.
Yeah, it's there.
Cool.
Like Take Care is real. It's like a real coffee shop. And it's amazing, and all the things that I want to do there.
You like will it into existence.
Yeah. And it's it's that stubborn, optimistic side of me.
Yeah.
But I did question for a little bit, like, okay, well, there's so many things outside of my control. There's money that I don't have because I lost my income and I spent it all on this lawsuit, or all the rest of the money that I had on this lawsuit. So what if I can't get the money? Then I can't do the coffee shop. Or what if, something with licensing gets in the way, some unknown issue with the city? I can't control the future. Even if I want to will it into existence, I can't control it. And I thought, maybe I could just try to become Mr. Full-Time Music. I still got that thing in me. But ultimately, I know what I want to be doing. And it's making this coffee shop. And there is a greater purpose behind it where I want to be doing coaching and management stuff with the ultimate goal of helping people that are in a situation that I've lived through in the past 12 years, help them move through that in a way that is more effective. Hopefully I can help ease maybe some years of heartache and burdens. I just, I want to help people. I want to show people what it looks like to take care.
And create space for people to come and feel invited, feel taken care of, feel like they belong.
Absolutely. And I think, care is a very important thing to be thinking about. I believe that we live in systems of care all the time, whether or not we see it that way. We're always kind of caring for one another. I feel that you asking me to come and be on this show is an extension of care. And care is this like really beautiful thing that we give and we receive, and it takes two. It like kind of like takes two to tango in that way.
It's a great relationship.
It's a very it's a wonderful symbiotic thing, and I want to put that sort of at the center of this coffee shop.
Cool. I love it, dude. I'm rooting for you, bro. I mean that so hard. Like I'm really excited to see the new spot and just feel it, because I like I said, when I saw it on your video and then I called you, I was like, I can feel that this is going to be a good thing. Like I can just feel that it's going to be a really cool place to hang and be, and the people you'll meet there. Like, I don't know if you remember like going to coffee shops in like 2017 is like, now I go to coffee shops, I don't know anyone. I don't know why, maybe I'm just like not in the scene. But like I remember used to go into like every coffee shop, like any coffee shop I went to around town, whether it's Spy House or 5 Watt or Dogwood, it's like I would know at least 2 or 3 people there. And I don't like feel that anymore. And I don't know if that's just me not going out as much anymore, but for whatever reason, when I like imagine Take Care, I imagine going in there and seeing like, whether they're people I know or not, like friendly faces. And people that I can like sit and have a conversation with. And I go, I think just the people that know you and even the people that don't, that maybe come across a brand, like I think that will be like obvious. Because I think that's probably what's genuinely at your heart. And I think that'll come out in different ways. I'm stoked to see that.
Man, thank you. I'm
cool.
beyond excited. It's been a long drive, getting there. But I was trying to enjoy the journey.
How can people support it, man? Because I know like you're just trying to get taken care of from your 5 Watt and you've got lawsuits and stuff going. Like, how can people support the dream?
Well, I am doing a public fundraiser to help get this coffee shop open because, like I said, I lost my income and then I spent all the rest of my money on this lawsuit. And I did find somebody who is willing to invest in the idea that like really believes in me, but that person doesn't have the finances to do the full
whole
funding
thing.
of the coffee shop. And also it's really important for me to not have equity partners this
Yeah.
time around.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, I've done the other
Yeah, you're a little
versions. Now I want to
gun-shy,
try
yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some fear there too.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, that's 3 though, because there's the first time you asked the guy to invest in 5 Watt. The second time, the guy that you asked to help you buy your partners, which we can argue didn't turn out the best.
Right.
But you still got a yes. And then 3, this guy wanting to invest in Take Care.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I mean, people see the vision and they believe in it in a way where they're willing to put real paper dollars down to support it.
Absolutely.
It's so cool.
It's not lost on me, man. And that even making this decision to realize that I was going to need to go out and ask for help.
Yeah.
Ask for help from the community, from
Yeah.
my friends that I know and people that I
Dude.
met along the way. It was
A lot of fear.
really scary,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like who's going to want to give me their money for a
Yeah.
coffee shop? We've already
Yeah.
got a million coffee shops, So there's a lot of fear of, should I even do it this way? Is this the right move? And the more that time went on, the more I realized that not only do I not have like a million options at my disposal, but with where I'm going with the brand and the messaging, having something that is supported and funded by the community, just it's right.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I am doing that fundraiser right
Cool.
now. But the biggest way that I can receive care from other people is just by people sharing the story of Take Care,
Yeah. Share some of this conversation.
yeah, sharing this,
Yeah.
and just getting the word out there.
Cool.
It can be really easy for stuff to get lost in the chaos of the
Yeah.
world that's just all around
Yeah,
us. So
yeah.
sharing that story
Yeah.
and finding ways to help move it forward. That's
Yeah.
all I need.
Cool. I'll just say this maybe to end, but when you launch something like that, it's scary because you're essentially asking people to support a dream, and they, there's like technically no reason they would or might or whatever, like other than the fact that they love you
Yeah.
and they wanna, and so I'll say this because I'm sure you'll relate. When I see someone like you doing something, whether it's something I'm passionate or not, having the opportunity to be a part of something that like someone I respect and love is passionate about is like, I couldn't wait to give. So
Yeah.
and I bet you can relate because you've seen before someone launch something, you're like, hell yeah, they're doing it. Like
Yeah.
they're going after it. Like no hesitation, like balls to the walls, let's go. That's what I want to get behind. And I don't care if it's opening a coffee shop or a veterinarian or a garbage disposal. When people are passionate, it's like contagious.
Yeah.
And so even throughout this conversation, you'll see there's like a real passion for what you do with coffee, and then pairing that with creating a space that people can feel and know that they belong and taken care of is sick, dude. That is the most worthy thing to invest into.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love you, bro. I'm excited for all you're doing. Can't wait to support the coffee shop.
Thank you.
Let's go.